So we have retail up here. It's recommendations from our teachers. We have a lounge here. You can sit there before or after class. We also have some tea and water over here. You can get that before class, drink it during class or after class, as long as you'd like.
My name's Ian Six. I work here at Mindful. I work at the front desk. I live here in the city for about a year and a few months now, and I grew up in Mississippi. I knew from a young age that I didn't want to stay there for a lot of my life, partly because I wanted to be an artist and partly because I was queer and they just didn't like that much. Well, when I first got here, I was walking dogs and working at a daycare, and I did a bunch of random little things. It's fun for the first 2 dogs of the day, and then 7 dogs in, it's no longer fun. And then I worked at a restaurant for about 5 months, and there was an overlap between working at the restaurant and working here. Yeah, so I had a daily practice when I moved to New York, and I knew I wanted to be involved in meditation communities. Before developing my practice, the experiences in my life could become claustrophobic very quickly. There was no there was no emergency brake to pull. I couldn't get out of an experience. It was much more likely that I was going to get overwhelmed and have a panic attack, leave the room, whatever. And as you develop a practice, you become aware that the real refuge that you can take, the real opportunity of peace that is there is just in your body. It's just in your breath. You can come back to that sense of groundedness at any time. Growing up in the South in the 2000s as a queer child was not always very comfortable. I told my mom initially, and I told her, and we cried together. We were in the car, we cried all the way home, and then, and she was supportive from the beginning, confused, understandably scared, because she grew up in a time where being gay meant that you were gonna die. And then my father was, I told him via text message, which I think was the best decision. And now, it's all water under the bridge, really. They're very supportive. Most of the mistreatment that I experienced came from other kids. I think in the same way that I was being bullied by a bunch of boys who didn't know what they were doing. The summer that gay marriage was legalized, I was there. I was working at a radio station, so I would hear all of the church transmissions on Sundays. And just hearing the things they would say around that time was just shocking, because those were people that I know loved me. I know there's still not complete acceptance, but I also know that that is coming from fear. It's coming from ignorance. It's changing. It's a very slow change, but it's far better than I could have imagined it would be when I was 10 years old, 13 years old in the closet. I do not currently have a partner. We're still very close. We were together for 2+ years, and then I moved here, so yeah, we're still friends. I was also thinking about my life, so things were good for me, but I met these kids through this nonprofit who are homeless now, and a lot of them, they came out and then they got kicked out immediately. And that was my fear for a lot of my life, who otherwise would have gone to great schools and done all these, and it's just their lives just got cut short by the ignorance and the suffering of people who hadn't worked through their own shit.